Today we're going to review or summarize the steps it takes to go from rough bodywork, like finishing your filler with 80 grit, to being ready to spray the very first coat of paint. It's good to keep in mind that every painter preps a little bit differently, but generally the first step is to blow the car clean or even wash it and then wipe it down with wax and grease remover. You can prime your bodywork first before the final masking, then block sand, prime again, finish sand, and then mask, or you can mask it all up first. It's safer to mask it all up first because then you don't get primer overspray on anything important. So step number 2 is to basically mask off the whole vehicle. And what I like to do is outline all the trim first with 3/4 inch tape, go all the way around the whole vehicle, mask off inside the door with 2-inch tape. So you go inside the door a little bit so that the overspray doesn't go into this crack. Here's a close-up view of that, and we used this 2-inch tape behind that gap all along the door jamb. Here's another close-up, and you can see the yellow tape is the outlining, so that's the perfection taping. That gets close to the paint but not touching, and it's masking off any chrome and handles and things like that. Then we papered, so the green paper, and then finally we have the plastic, and it doesn't have to be over the paper, it can be up here, but I just covered the whole car with plastic just so I don't get overspray. So again, outlining, then paper, then the plastic. Here's a quick example of the paper machine I'm using. It's by Keysco tools, made in the USA. You just pull off what you need and tear it. And a quick shot of the plastic drop cloth from Home Depot. One thing you don't want to skimp on is the outlining masking tape. You can cheat a little bit on the 2-inch tape, but to outline, you'll want to use 3M Automotive Refinish masking tape. Or, also made by 3M, is the Scotch 233 Plus. Anything that you need to be super accurate with the edge, you can use 3M Fine Line. Once the whole vehicle's masked off, you can prime your areas, block sand, prime it again, finish sand, and be ready to paint. If you don't want to get primer on your nice fresh masking, you can use a piece of cardboard, prime this with your primer surfacer, block sand it, prime it again, finish sand it. You can be ready to paint without getting any overspray on important stuff. As for covering the wheels, you can use an old shirt and just run a piece of tape around the bottom to keep it snug. I do mask inside the wheel well just to keep the overspray from getting on the parts inside. On smaller parts, again, you can outline and then use 2-inch tape or paper to cover the rest of the part. After finish sanding the primer, we used 320 on a DA, but you can wet sand or hand sand with 400 grit. You'll DA sand all the good paint. So we used 320 on this, but you can use anything from 240 to 320 on a DA for all the good painted areas. After that's done, you can use a scuff pad like that. And it's just the red scuff pad. And get anything that you couldn't get with the DA. Again, every painter's a little bit different, but the good painted areas that need to be DA sanded should be anywhere from 240 grit to 320 grit, and all your finished sanded primer should be anything from 240 grit to 320 on a DA or 400 grit by hand. After finish sanding everything and you're almost ready to paint, I'll show you exactly what I do to make sure I don't get any dust and dirt in the paint. So you'll always have a little bit of dust after you do the detail work. You're just going to blow it off. Now, your hands, they have to be clean when you're doing body work. So just make sure you wash your hands. You're not eating French fries and stuff like that. You keep good habits. If you touch your body work, it's not going to do anything. Don't worry. So you're just going to blow the area clean. You can see I picked up a lot of dust, just that line right there. So you blew that off and you don't feel any dust nibs and stuff like that. But there's still dust. So you'll spray. I got a little bit of wax and grease remover in that bottle. And you'll just wipe this down. And you can use a professional rag. And this is a paper towel. And you're sort of picking up a lot of dust right there. Just do up here real quick. And we're just doing the fender, just for an example. And then wipe it off with a clean one. And now there's still dust on there because you might have little remnants from your rag or what have you. Then, again, you'll just blow it off. Feeling for any dust nibs. And I don't feel anything on that panel right now, but just in case there is some dust, we have a little tack cloth, and we're just going to run that over and pick up any last little piece of dust. And we're just running over there real lightly, picking up anything that's left. And now that's ready to paint. You won't have hardly any dust, dirt, or specks in there after you did that process. One other thing is to make sure all the tape is stuck down real well before you paint. We'll be hitting this with a light coat of sealer just before the first coat of paint to make sure we have any small bare metal spots covered. I hope this video gives a general idea of the steps needed to get a car ready for paint. If you did enjoy this video and would like to get other videos from my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.